Good morning, everyone. I'm Marg from Creative Stamping with Marg. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from St. Albert, Alberta, Canada. So today, welcome to another Wednesday video. We will be making a card, and I'm kind of focusing, like I did last week, on things that are in the last chance list, because there is a lot of good things still in there. So I'm using a lot of products from there for this card, and talking about the Stampin' Up! News and looking at what will be leaving us when our annual catalog is done in May, just as a reminder to you. Okay, let's go down to my desk. All right, so you can see I have the In Color stamp pads, 2024, 2026 in colors here. Peach Pie, Pretty in Pink, Petunia Pop, Summer Splash, and Shy Shamrock. These colors will be leaving us when the annual catalog is done, the beginning of May. So if you're needing the stamp pads or paper or the ink refills, which I noticed the ink refills, a lot of them are already on low inventory, so it would be good to get them if you want them. But just remember that these will be gone and you can't get them. So you want to stock up on all the supplies that go along with that. So that was a reminder for those. All right, on my desk here I have the paper pumpkin that is coming for March called Fluttering Garden. The subscription period is from February 11th to March the 10th, so you've still got some time to subscribe to that. It is making 9 cards, 3 each of 3 designs, and coordinating envelopes. Your classic Stampin' Spot will be a basic gray. It looks very interesting with the hummingbirds, and it says create charming cards with a hummingbird motif for Mother's Day and more. So I'm assuming there will be possibly a Happy Mother's Day sentiment in that stamp set. Okay, there's the dies that have gone along with January, February, and now March. They are called Beautiful Bloom Dies Add-on. The number to order them is 168666, and they are $18. So they went along with all 3 of these kits. Okay, so that's needing to be done if you want to subscribe to Paper Pumpkin. Another reminder before the end of the month, you've got a few more days. If you earned bonus coupons in January, now is the time to redeem them. And the redemption period ends February 28th. So like I say, you've got a few more days to do that. Okay. The join special is still going till March the 2nd, I think. So if you join Stampin' Up! Right now as a demonstrator, you would receive the Stampin' Positioner for free. So if you need any information on that or how to join, please contact me. And my email address is here, mrgorn@shaw.ca or margaretgorn.stampinup.net, and I can help you with that. This is the product of the month right now for February. It is called Painted Illusions, 12 by 12 designer series paper, 12 sheets, 3 each of 4 double-sided designs. So it's a bit different, not 6 different designs. It only has 4 designs, but you get 3 sheets of each, which is really nice. Looks beautiful. It is in my order that's coming. Haven't received it yet. Okay. And I also want to mention that the True Blue Floral Designer Series paper that was the product of the month for December is still available. I believe the stamp set, Fabulous Sayings, that was January's product of the month, is gone in English. I did notice it in French, but not in English. So I think that one's already gone. And they will not return, unfortunately. Okay, let's get to our card. This is an easy layout, and I've used it several times, and I just thought I'm going to use up some of my paper that is in the last chance list. So the paper we're using today is Gathering Together, and it was a fall paper. I will hold it here. Had all the leaves and some plaids and beautiful paper, gold accents on it. Loved it. And it is in the last chance list, and it's marked down from $23 to $16.10. So it is available. And the nice thing about this paper, as you'll see, I didn't want to use leaves today because it's not fall, but the other side of the papers were more generic. So I'll show you what I'm using today, that we are not going to use the leaf part of the papers. Okay, So to start with, our card base is basic beige. It is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2, and it will be a side fold like this. Another piece of basic beige that I cut, and I've already done my stamping as I usually do. I'm using the textured notes dies, which are on the last chats list. Makes me cry because I just love these. I use them a lot. If any of you follow me, you know this. And I often use them for the inside sentiment because it just gave something interesting on the border. So I've used this particular one for my inside sentiment. And I also cut some DSP with it. So I'm going to show you the DSP that I chose. Now, this is the side that had the gold on it. So these are 1-inch strips by 5. So those were the sides that all had the gold on them. I didn't want the leaves, and I didn't want this plaid particularly. So I'm flipping them over, and I'm using the more neutral side. I would have kept this one, except then they're all sort of neutral. So this one reversed over to dark brown, which I liked. So 1 inch by 5 inches, and you need 4 of those. Now, because I am technically trying to use up my designer series paper, in the inside, using the dies again, the rectangle dies, textured note dies, I chose the biggest one, which is this one on the outside here. That one right there. I chose the biggest one, and I cut out another piece of paper, and I'm going to mount it like this on the inside with my sentiment on it on the inside, and I think that'll look really nice. So that piece of paper is probably 4 by 5 1/4. Yes, and so I used the dies, or you can just cut a rectangle. So we needed that piece of designer series paper, and then one for the envelope if you want to put designer series paper on the flap of your envelope. Okay, so I'm going to set this all to the side. I do need my silicone mat, and I'm just looking to see where it is. Here it is. Okay, I'm going to need that. So we'll get started. You can imagine that this layout is fairly simple with these 4 strips of paper. You could add, I looked at adding another piece of cardstock here, run through an embossing folder, but once you place these strips on, you don't see the background very much, so it was kind of a waste. So my thought was I was going to place these on here, and they're going to butt right up against each other. I'm not putting the ends even. I'm staggering them certain ways. Just want them to look random, and you don't have to be straight then. It doesn't have to be perfect. And they just kind of go on like that. Okay, and then a sentiment on top. So what I've done for my sentiment is using the Spotlight on Nature dies. That was these ones, and they're still available. I used this size in the early espresso, and I cut a circle. And then I used the other circles that we have, Stylish Shapes, the third from the smallest, this one here. And I cut out on basic beige, I cut the sentiment out for the front. And if you can see, I'm using the stamp set from Textured Notes. And there is a basket looking stamp. I stamped it off in crumb cake and then stamped it on my basic beige. And I like the way that looks. It just gives it something behind the words thank you. I used the words thank you out of here, and on the inside a little note of appreciation. So they're both from the Textured Notes. Now the Textured Notes bundle is still $67.50 if you bought the 2 pieces together. But if you buy them separately, the stamp set is down to $19.20, and these ones are $34.40. So it's advantageous to buy them separately. Don't buy them as a bundle. Okay, I will tell you that these are out of stock right now. It says they're coming back, so if you wanted them, maybe put an email reminder in for Stampin' Up! To email you to tell you when they come back, and then you could grab them, because I have a feeling they're going to be popular when they come back. But this was a beautiful stamp set too. I love this leaf, and this leaf is very beautiful. So, all right, so that's what I did for my greeting on the front. And I'm using a lot of different things here, but this was one of the bundles, Amber Autumn, that was from the autumn, and I used it with the paper. This bundle is $72. They marked the stamp set down to $28.80 and the dies down to $38.40. And these were the dies. And this die is really gorgeous. I don't have a card to show you because I don't have any of my fall or Thanksgiving cards, but this was beautiful. I'll just show you maybe on a dark piece. It cut all the leaves out. It was just gorgeous. I loved it. So that was that. So I'm using, out of here, I'm going to use this leaf. And this piece here kind of looked like it's not anything that coordinated with a stamp. It's just a free die cut. But it kind of looks like, I don't know, wheat or I don't know exactly what it is. Just kind of a leaf. So I liked the look of that. And I'll show you that when we get to putting our card together. All right, so we're going to glue these strips onto the front any fashion that you want. So just decide which way you want your pattern to look. And I am orienting my card this way. My sample card that I made from the True Blue Florals, I'll show you at the end, I oriented it this way. So you can do either way, of course. So I'm going to turn all these over, and I think I will glue the top one and the bottom one first. No, I may not do that this time, just because I want them to butt up together. And I kind of, because I laid them out, I kind of know how much space I want. So I think I should be okay. So I will just put my glue on the pieces. And I like to do it all at once just because got the glue flowing here. It makes sense. Okay. And we'll get them. Whoops. Thank goodness for my silicone mat. I went right off there with the glue. If you saw that, it's on my silicone mat. So I'm going to take the top one. And there's no real rhyme or reason for the way I'm laying them, except I'm alternating a light one and then a darker one. So I'm going to lay it so that it has a little bit of space, top and bottom, or sorry, top and side to be equal. And I'm laying it that way a little bit. Whoopsie. So you can see, got a little bit too much glue on there. You can see there's quite a big space here, but that's okay. Then this next one, I'm going to just stagger it down a little bit. And I'm butting it right up against it, just like that. The next one is kind of a neutral one again. And I'll just move it up slightly, but not the same as the top one. And put my edges together there. Whoops, I really did goosh out the glue, didn't I? I'll have to get my glue eraser out here. And then this last one, I'm going to put it right over to the side here, like that. So it's sort of the opposite of that one, okay? Doesn't matter how you put them on. The beauty of this is you're not having to line anything up and make sure it's straight. It just is random. All right, so that's perfect. Sorry, I have glue on my hands now. All right, I'm going to put that to the side. I'm going to glue my sentiment on. Actually, you can see I used washi tape on this and I couldn't get the washi tape off after I ran it through my machine, but maybe I can get it today. There we go. I was holding my die in place there. And I really, whoops, good thing this is on the wrong side. And I could have left it on there. No one would have known. I did rip my paper a little, but it doesn't really matter. I am going to, I'm trying to think. These were my pieces that I wanted to put behind it, that I said that I cut out with the dies from the Amber Autumn. Yeah, I think I'll glue this flat down and then I'll put the circle up on 2 dimensionals. I've made this into a thank you card, but of course it could be anything that you chose. And I was going to use some of the greetings from the Fabulous Sayings, which was our product of the month for January, but it's out of stock now, so I thought, well, won't do that. Okay, move this over here. Now, I don't know why I always tend to put my sentiment here, but we can put it over here if we want. And I cut a green leaf out, and I thought that could go there. And this piece is out of basic beige. And like I said, it's just kind of a, I don't know, kind of looks like wheat or some kind of a weed maybe, I'm not sure. And I just thought, whoops, that I would tuck it under there just to give it some interest, like that. Okay, And I am using the Mossy Meadow and Gold ribbon. It looks like this. Pretty ribbon that's still available. And what I did was I just took a small piece and I tied it in a knot, and I thought I would just put it on the bottom of this. I'm kind of picking up the green in here, even though the green is the least of the colors, but I thought that looked good. And I brought in these flower accent gems, which are still available, and they are very gold and very shiny and very flat, and I really like them. So I thought that was a good choice for this, just to bring the gold out in this piece of paper. So let's put this up on dimensionals, and then I'll place my leaf underneath there. Got some dimensionals here. So I will put 3 dimensionals on here. That should be enough, and put them in a little bit so that I can wiggle my greenery that I'm using underneath it. So peel off your backings, just like that. And I'm going to put it here. I did try this circle in the green and the brown, and I chose the brown. I liked it the best, I thought. So that's what I ended up going with. Now, because that's raised, I can just put these under, and I'm just trying to see how I want to put these. Maybe like that. Maybe like that. So you can hook them together if you want or not. It doesn't really matter. I think I'll put this one down first. And so I'm just putting a little bit of glue on the stem and tucking it underneath. This is when your take your pick tool comes in handy. And I'll just tuck it under there. And I wanted it kind of on the brown to show up. And if I was using my take your pick tool, I would, oh, it's coming right out of my, sorry, I'm twisting it the wrong way here. And I can just tuck this under and kind of press it down. You can see it's still moving because it has liquid glue on it. I will do the same with this, and I'm not gluing the whole thing down. I like my pieces to have a little, if they're left loose, they have a little more dimension, makes it a little more interesting that they are loose. And I think I'll just put it in like that. Okay, there we go. All right. Now the bow, I didn't know if I'd left my tails kind of long. I can trim them off, but I just thought the bow could go there on my greeting. I will use a glue dot for that, and then we'll trim our ends if we think it's too long. So these glue dots just roll out of here like this, and you can put your bow right on it. I'm just looking at which side of my bow I want to stick down. And if you do that, it sticks right on there. So you've got a glue dot on the back there, and I'm just going to put it right here, like that. And then we'll decide if we think that's a bit too long. All right, so there's that. We can put our gems on the outside. So I'm going to choose a large one. I think I'll put it up here, and 2 small ones. Just like that. It's nice these are very flat, so they won't impede anything in the mail. And this bow or knot that I put on there isn't very big, so I think it should be fine going through the mail. Now we'll do the inside. And I had done this for the inside, and I really liked the way that looked. Filled up my spot, so I will glue this down. Oh, you can see I have washi tape on this too. All the cheating that I do on the back of these things that you guys don't know about. No one knows what's on the back of this stuff. And it's all good. All right. So this just fits in here. I try to make the top and bottom and the sides even. And then this is just going down flat. And I'm going to glue right over that washi tape. No one's going to know that's there except you and me. Okay, and this gives you lots of room to write. I think I kind of looked at this before, and I've got like 3 lines. This is nice because I can make it straight this way, hopefully. There we go. There. So there's the inside. There's the outside. Thank you. Nice thank you card. And it can actually looks kind of masculine to me because of the colors maybe. And I didn't make a foofy bow or anything on it. So a little note of appreciation. So that's a nice, simple card, simple layout, uses up your designer series paper strips that you might have left over. All right, I will show you the other card that I made. This was from the True Blue Florals, which was the product of the month. This is just a regular card that opens like this. This is, again, the 1-inch strips, 1 by 5, and I just staggered them on the card. I did take a piece of the balmy blue cardstock and I put it through an embossing folder. There is a piece of ribbon on here. This is stamped from the Encircled with Love. I love this, thank you, especially in a dark color. You can see how I stamped it in Night of Navy and it really shows up. I love that. Just a couple of sequins on it. And for the inside, I just put a plain white and I used another 1-inch strip in here and just trimmed off the end. So again, really simple layout, but really effective with your beautiful paper that we have. And it shows off all different patterns. So I really like it. It's a simple layout, but you can dress it up any way you want. And you can see with a embossing folder how I added that piece, and that looks really good too. So lots of fun with that. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, I love getting thumbs up, and all the dimensions for this card will be underneath the video. So check it out, and easy layout, easy way to use up some designer series paper. Please check the last chance list because there are so many things on there that are worth looking at if you don't own them. Again, I'll remind you of the things we used today. Textured notes bundle, the paper, and this is the Amber Autumn bundle that I used for the leaves. So all of that is here, and of course this beautiful paper. All right, there we go. Hope everybody has a great week, and I hope to see you next week.